Welcome to the Greek alphabet and pronunciation lessons for Biblingo. In these 4 videos, we will go over each letter of the alphabet and the sound it makes in the 4 major Greek pronunciation systems used when speaking Koine Greek today. In each lesson, we will also begin with a unique historical artifact connected to the Greek language or alphabet. So let's get started. This is a picture of the Rosetta Stone, an incredibly important archaeological find in 1799. The stone is composed of a decree made by King Ptolemy V Epiphanes in Memphis, Egypt in 196 BC. It is written in 3 scripts and 2 languages. The top script is Egyptian hieroglyphics, and the middle script is called the Demotic script, and both of these are in ancient Egyptian. The bottom of the stone is written in ancient Greek. Neither the Demotic script nor hieroglyphics were deciphered before the discovery of the stone, and it was the parallel Greek text at the bottom that ultimately allowed scholars to decipher these unique scripts. The Greek text thus served as a kind of key to unlock the world of ancient Egypt. This is just one demonstration of how Greek has been crucial for our understanding of antiquity. It is our window into the thoughts of ancient philosophers in Athens like Socrates, great Jewish thinkers of old like Philo, and the most influential group of Greek writers the world has ever seen, the writers of the New Testament. So let's dive into that world. Greek pronunciation is a hotly debated topic in New Testament studies. We have created Biblingo to be as flexible as possible in this regard, by including the 4 major pronunciation systems used today: Erasmian, Early High Koine, Koine, and Modern Greek. There are pros and cons to each, but you should keep in mind that the systems have far more in common than they have different, and you can become proficient at Greek in whatever system you use. So first, let's start out with Erasmian. This system was developed in the 16th century by Erasmus. It is not historical in that Koine Greek speakers never spoke using the pronunciation, nor have any native speakers of Greek ever used the system. The advantage is that the main vowels are distinguished from each other, making it easier to learn, and that most seminaries still use this system. Next we have Early High Koine. This system has been popularized by Christoph Rico at the Polis Institute in Jerusalem, one of the pioneers of the living language approach for Koine Greek. It has several advantages. First, it is a historical pronunciation, so it was used by at least some Koine speakers at some point in history. In particular, it was used by some high-class speakers in the early periods of Koine, which started in the late 4th century BC. The main vowels are distinguished, though in a different way than Erasmian. Next we have the Koine system. This system is the pronunciation used by the Biblical Language Center and was popularized by another pioneer in the living language approach for Greek, Randall Booth. It is a historical reconstruction of Koine as it was spoken in the 1st century AD. Because the language was changing at the time, some of the vowel distinctions were lost, which makes spelling a bit more difficult in this pronunciation. Finally, we have Modern. The Modern Greek pronunciation is, of course, the system used by native speakers of Modern Greek today. It is not historical since Koine speakers never used the system, but it is probably closest to the Koine pronunciation of BLC, and it also does not distinguish the main vowels. One thing to keep in mind about the historical reconstructions is that they are often talked about as if that was the pronunciation used at the time. Simply put, this is a bit of an overgeneralization. Rather, they represent a system that was used at the time, but just like there are regional and dialectical differences between speakers of English, for example, Southerners and Northerners in the United States do not pronounce vowels the same, and both differ from British or Australian English. So there were certainly a myriad of different Greek pronunciation systems in use throughout the time when Koine was used. Whatever system you choose, you just need to practice the language. Now let's start with the first consonants you will learn. One thing to note before we get started is that the letters are not presented in the order that they appear in the Greek alphabet. We have chosen a particular order to present the letters in that we think will help you to learn each of the sounds more easily. Let's begin with an overview of the layout of the slides. On each slide, you will see 4 main pieces of information. The name of the letter will be found at the top. On the left, you will see first the capital and lowercase letters in Greek. And then below that, you will see the letter as transliterated into English. Finally, on the right-hand side, you will see the pronunciation of the Greek letter in all 4 pronunciation systems as it would be transcribed in the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. This is an alphabet developed to allow linguists to represent all kinds of different sounds made in the world's languages. It will often, but not always, correspond to the transliterated letter. One thing to keep in mind is that the name of the letter actually tells you what sound it makes. The first sound made in the name of the letter is the sound that the letter will make. So kappa is one of the easiest letters for English speakers. It looks and sounds like a k in all the systems. Next we have p, more commonly known in English as pi. It is pronounced as a p in all the systems. Tau is another easy one like kappa. It looks almost identical to T in English and it sounds the same in all 4 systems. Finally, we come to mu. Again, all the pronunciation systems are the same. They all sound like English m. Now let's talk about the first vowels. We are actually indebted to Greeks for vowel letters. They were the first to represent vowel sounds with their own distinct letters. This is where we will start to see some variations within the pronunciation systems. We start out with an easy one, alpha. It is pronounced like a in all the systems, and it looks just like our letter A. Omicron is our next letter. It is pronounced like O in all the systems, except in Erasmian, where it is pronounced A. Next we have iota. Iota is similar to alpha. It looks very similar to our English I. However, it is pronounced E, not I, in all the systems. Finally, we have ypsilon, and this is where we start to get some variations within the pronunciation systems. The Erasmian system has the U sound, just like an English U. Both Koine pronunciations have a sound that isn't found in English. It is produced in an identical way to iota, except the lips are rounded. So it is U. Modern Greek doesn't distinguish this sound from iota at all. So it is also E. In this last section, we will look at a couple of the basic accent marks in Greek. By accent marks, we just mean any mark other than the letters added to words. These are more properly called diacritical marks, but I will continue to call them accent marks for simplicity's sake, with the caveat that it should be understood that not all of these marks are actually accents. The acute accent is a short accent mark going up, which you can see highlighted on the right alpha. Finally, we have the smooth breathing mark, which looks like the highlighted apostrophe on the first alpha. Whenever vowels begin a word in Greek, they will be marked with either a smooth breathing mark or a rough breathing mark, which you'll learn later. The smooth breathing mark just tells you that the vowel should be pronounced first without any preceding sound. In other words, it should be pronounced smoothly. Here's a summary of the letters and accent marks you learned in this lesson. Now you are ready to practice hearing the sounds and typing the letters in your first alphabet lesson in Biblingo.